So we're standing here in the entry foyer right here. This is going to be an amazing pivot door. So glass galleries. What are glass galleries? What's the design intent? How are we utilizing those in this modern sunset build? Check out this video. So here we are at the entry and we mentioned these glass galleries. So in previous videos we talked about the butterfly roof, right? This is really important. You know, that butterfly roof gives these viewpoints. And then we have the second component, which is the structural, which is very important. So we talked about these CMU, these masonry units. So check out those videos just to understand that design intent, right? From the butterfly roof to the masonry, why we did solid grout masonry units for all of the walls that border the structure. Now we're standing here with this pivot door, right? Most of us understand pivot door. For those of you that have followed us for a while through Instagram or YouTube, we've shown some of the big pivot doors we've done. This one will be another one to fit that modern design. What's great about this house is we can have a ton of glass in this house, and it's completely private. We have this 1,000-foot driveway that we're going to do a video on later, so stay tuned for that video. But there's complete privacy. We have a gate down there. It's a HOA community, so they have 14 acres of private hillside. No one will ever be up top, so the full project is fully enclosed. So now let's bring in that nature, right? It's that indoor-outdoor living at a new level. We've talked about indoor-outdoor living in our other posts and homes, because typically you'll have this large multi-slider. It's open, you have the pool, you have the landscape, but now it takes it to another level. Now it's not just, you know, enjoying that indoor-outdoor, but how do we bring nature into the house? How do we blend this house into the hillside and really make it in one, right? That was the design intent of our architect, is Scott Carson with Cosan. He said, look, I want to showcase this amazing hillside, this amazing view, and make the entire house blend. And so how do we do that? Instead of having a traditional hallway with artwork, we're going to make a hallway with glass. And so as we walk around here, as you can see all of the galleries, so these main structures, there's 3 separate structures. And as we turn the corner, coming from the great room and kitchen, again, this is all glass. We have our structural steel, which now helps support the load of this cantilevered truss system we have in the ceiling. And then this is all glass, floor to ceiling glass. So you can imagine when this will be installed, and we're working with Benelli. Benelli is part of Pella Windows, and they have their aluminum thermally broken windows, aluminum clad windows that'll be installed here. And now, really what you're doing is you're bringing this entire artwork into this house, this landscape art. So working with Gray Pickett, who's our landscape architect, you know, all will have lush install of plants and succulents, you know, really plants that are natural to the Arizona desert that don't need a ton of water. One thing to think about, especially as a builder, is it makes us a little nervous when we have vegetation by the house, by the foundation, and it needs a lot of water. If it's on a drip system, you know, this can create a lot of issues for us, you know, especially for builders if they're not putting down some sort of vapor barrier or like a Stego waterproof mat underneath the slab. Anytime you're having flower boxes or plantings that need a lot of water and you're putting by the house, it creates a ton of potential issues for us as a builder. You don't want to undermine the compaction, the slab, the soil content, you know, moisture content by having all that water. And so for us, having beautiful succulents here, which in other words is just plants that are arid, you know, can stand the arid temperatures, right? You think cactus, you think mesquites, ocotillos, some of these plants that are just natural to the desert that need a little bit of rain throughout the year, and it really helps prevent any water issues. But now you can see all these viewpoints. As you come down every gallery, this is all glass, so now you're creating this incredible envelope of just views. Now as we come into the master bedroom here, again, you can see here we have our steel lintel above me, our masonry wall. Again, just from our other video, you know, as you have masonry that's now not floating but coming across this header right here in the doorway, you need what's called a steel lintel. This creates that structural support so that as you go up, you know, this is all tied together. But again, these viewpoints, right? This is what we're trying to do with that butterfly roof system and the glass gallery, is really bring in that landscape. And that was the whole point of the architecture here. And the same thing out back, creating that resort spa feel. As you think of, you know, clients that are traveling, maybe they're at the Montage or the Four Seasons or the Ritz, you know, some of these amazing properties. How do you bring that resort style life into their primary residence, right? That's our goal here. And we have these sliders here that come out to the private area. They can come to the spa that we'll talk about in a future video, and then all these boulder croppings that have been installed. So again, all of this glass utilizes the natural vegetation. So now as we're coming through, we have a private desk area. So you think off of the primary suite, you know, a little workstation here, but you can't have a workstation without a little countertop installed on the inside and this amazing view of that boulder cropping. Again, fixed windows here, and even from the tub, you know, all throughout this house, these glass galleries, everything's positioned to give views of the swallows, the hillside, the boulders, and that can only be done with the glass galleries. And it's really important to have, to understand the value of that glass too, right? Working with the window company, whether they're dual pane, you know, energy efficient, ideally triple pane in some cases. You know, at the U value now of these triple pane windows, for example, we're using at our net zero build, you know, that ratio is coming at 0.12, 0.14, which is very similar to a 2x4 wall that's fully insulated. And so now that you can have a glass wall similar to a 2x4 wall fully insulated and still work with, you know, insulating the entire exterior envelope, working with that masonry, furn it out, insulating that, it's now creating a very good envelope for the client where it's not going to be too hot. And especially through overhangs to cover some of that glass, you know, and that's really important as you're working through the design process with glass. Understand where your heat zones are, right? Where's that sun setting, solstice, you know, throughout the year, you know, how far south is the sun, and through the technology now, through some of the BIM software that our architects are using, we really understand where the sun will be and we can protect the house. So that way the galleries aren't being just hit on by that sun. So again, it's going to be amazing. Wait till you see these windows installed. Stay tuned.